Y'all motherfuckers better pay. Y'all make enough money off of me.
So my parents were like, be realistic. Like, you need to work. This can be a side, a hobby.
This beef between Tyla and Rihanna just hit a wild new level. And trust me, this ain't just music drama. It's about power, image, and who's really running the pop world. Tyla's finally speaking up, throwing shade that Rihanna's shadow might be holding her back, and fans are convinced the tension is real. But let's rewind, because this isn't just Tyla versus Rihanna. It's the whole industry moving pieces like chess with these two women's careers.
There are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Back in 2023, Tyla blew up overnight when her track Water went viral on TikTok, storming the Billboard Hot 100 and even grabbing a Grammy for Best African Music Performance. Just like that, she became South Africa's new global pop princess. That's when the messy comparisons kicked in. Fans immediately clocked her style, her vibe, even her hair pics, dragging Tyla online for copying Rihanna's old looks. The internet went savage, calling her a copycat and even an industry plant, accusing her team of running Rihanna's exact playbook word for word. But Tyla wasn't about to stay quiet. Early on, she clapped back saying, "Rihanna is Rihanna. It's a compliment, but I'm my own artist. I'm Tyla." Polite words, sure, but between the lines, she was basically saying, "Stop trying to box me in Rihanna's shadow." Tyla snapped back hard. "I'm tired of people acting like I don't have my own identity." And when she doubled down with that post about folks secretly recording her convos, fans swore she was shading the industry, and Rihanna too. She wrote, "Talking to me about secretly recording is so weird. I can see the lens, baby." That sounded like a shot at people trying to box her in as the next Rihanna. But let's be real, Rihanna didn't exactly stay silent either. Around that same time, she posted a cryptic IG quote, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." Fans instantly thought she was warning Tyla to stay in her lane, or maybe flexing that no one could ever replace her. Sure, it could have been about anything, but the timing, way too suspicious. And here's where it gets messy. The way Epic Records has been pushing Tyla, plus the industry's history of shady marketing, has people whispering that Rihanna's refusal to co-sign, or maybe her jealousy, is holding Tyla back. From copycat claims to sabotage talk, this drama's turning into a full-blown industry war. Then came Tyla's 2023 smash, A DA. Nobody expected it to explode the way it did. That mix of piano, R&B, and Afro beats had the world hooked. But the real game changer? That viral TikTok performance where Tyla slid across the floor, poured water on herself, and hit those Bacardi-inspired moves. Pop, pop, pop! The internet ate it up within weeks. That challenge spread like wildfire, and just like that, Tyla went from a local South African star to an international sensation. Her hit cracked the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 7 in January 2024. And she even snatched the very first Grammy for Best African Music Performance. Overnight, she became the global face of African pop. But quick success always comes with side eyes, and the Rihanna comparisons started rolling in heavy. Tyla was young, stylish, and dripping in high fashion fits, but fans swore her whole rollout felt too familiar. The swag, the sultry red carpet looks, the messy hair flips, it screamed déjà vu. One viral post on X joked, "What in the good girl gone bad is going on here? She's in her Rihanna era now." Another said, "If I was Rihanna, I'd be annoyed. Tyla needs her own identity immediately." And honestly, you can see why people said it. Rihanna built her empire as the cool Caribbean girl with crossover star power, while Tyla's playing the same lane as the cool South African girl with global appeal. Even the industry moves feel copy-paste. Rihanna had Jay-Z and Def Jam pumping millions into her, while Tyla's got Epic Records doing the exact same with viral marketing campaigns. Insiders even whisper that Epic has been secretly flooding TikTok and Twitter with paid pushes since 2022, forcing Tyla's songs into timelines before most people even knew her name. Her single, Been Thinking, magically went viral despite her being a complete unknown at the time. Suspicious, right? The same industry machine that pushed water into everyone's feed had people calling Tyla an industry plant. And while being compared to Rihanna is usually a compliment, for Tyla, it's starting to feel like a curse. She's admitted she idolized Rihanna, telling Interview magazine, "I remember loving Rihanna's story because she came from outside America. It made me feel like my dream was achievable." But here's the twist. While she's clearly flattered, Tyla wants out of Rihanna's shadow. In Cosmopolitan, she said, "I am my own artist. I'm Tyla. As people get to know me and my music, they'll see me as just Tyla." Translation, stop calling her the new Rihanna, she's over it. But the catch is wild. Her career is moving almost step for step like Rihanna's early grind. And some say that's no accident, it's by design. Look at her fashion game. The 2024 Met Gala, Tyla shut it down in a custom Balmain sand dress that literally stopped traffic. Then, at the MTV EMAs, she switched it up with vintage Roberto Cavalli, both looks dripping with that same rebellious, sexy energy Rihanna once owned. And when Anna Wintour herself handpicked Tyla for the 2025 Met Gala host committee, boom, the new Rihanna narrative practically wrote itself. Rihanna 2.0. That's what folks keep calling Tyla. But here's the catch. Being labeled the next Rihanna comes with baggage. Because if Rihanna feels Tyla's creeping into her lane, things could turn icy fast. And let's be real. Rihanna is not the type to stay quiet when it comes to protecting her throne. That's exactly when the jealousy whispers started buzzing. Did Rihanna see Tyla as a threat? Was she annoyed by the non-stop comparisons? Fans think so, especially after Rihanna's cryptic Instagram post, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." People swore it was a subtle jab at Tyla, reminding everyone she's untouchable. But let's keep it real. The industry has been feeding this narrative heavy. Tyla's whole rollout feels copy-paste from Rihanna's blueprint. Even her looks got fans talking. Some outfits screamed "Pawn to Replay" and SOS vibes, like she was pulling directly from Rihanna's playbook. And here's where it gets spicy. The flattering comparisons flipped into a full-on battleground. Rihanna's been in the game too long not to notice when labels start grooming a replacement. She's seen it before. Blogs hyping up the new Rihanna, labels pushing fresh faces as the future of pop. But this time, it feels personal. That Bible verse post, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," didn't sound random anymore. Fans connected the dots quick, saying it was a warning shot. Rihanna's way of telling the world, maybe even Tyla herself, that no copycat is knocking her off her throne. One fan blasted, "I don't think Tyla's failure is her fault. It's her team and her fans. They gassed her up, made her think she was more talented than she is, and tried to force us to support her just because she was brown and could dance a little." Another piled on, "I'm glad people see it now. Tyla and her team stole Rihanna's whole look, attitude, everything, and dragged it to the US. She's just a copycat with light-skinned privilege." Ouch! But here's the twist. Tyla herself has been playing both sides. On one hand, she praises Rihanna in every interview. She told British Vogue, "Coming from outside the States, I really looked up to her. She made me realize there's another way." On the other hand, her tone has shifted. "Rihanna is Rihanna, but I'm my own artist. People will see me as Tyla polite on the surface, but fans swear it was shade, especially after that post about someone secretly recording her convos. People read it as her calling out industry folks, maybe even Rihanna's own camp. And this is where it gets bigger than music. Rihanna isn't just an artist anymore. She's a billionaire mogul, the boss behind Fenty, Savage X Fenty, and a mama of 3. If Tyla's rise even looks like a threat, best believe there's quiet pushback. Labels, fashion houses, media execs, everyone knows Rihanna runs the table. If she's not feeling Tyla, doors slam shut real fast. The industry's cutthroat and receipts prove it. A resurfaced 2005 clip of Rihanna on the Tyra Banks show had her joking that Jay-Z told her, "2 ways to leave here, either through the door with a deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor." That story has haunted fans for years because it showed just how brutal the game really is. Now people wonder, is Rihanna passing that same pressure down, making sure Tyla never climbs too high? Before diving into sabotage talk, let's unpack how Tyla's whole image feels manufactured. From her sound to her looks to the way her label positions her, once you see the formula, it's impossible to unsee that Rihanna blueprint. From the very beginning, Tyla didn't move like an indie artist grinding from scratch. She had a machine behind her day one. Epic Records. And the way they marketed her? Straight copy-paste strategy. Back in 2022, Tyla wasn't even mainstream, yet her single, Been Thinking, mysteriously flooded timelines. Later, fans claimed Epic was paying big TikTok and Twitter accounts to push her name and clips until she trended. Whether people cared or not, that's why her rise felt so inorganic. By the time Water dropped, the campaign was flawless. Suddenly, every For You page had clips of her sliding, popping, and hitting those viral moves. People swore they never even searched Tyla, yet her videos kept flooding their feeds non-stop. The algorithm wasn't organic, it was engineered. The Rihanna comparisons keep getting louder. Back in 2005, Def Jam and Jay-Z branded Rihanna as the exotic, fashionable, cool girl next door who could cross over worldwide. Now look at Tyla's rollout. It's practically identical. Rihanna repped Barbados, Tyla repping South Africa. Rihanna had her bestie, creative sidekick Melissa Ford. Tyla's got Thado as her creative director from day one. Even the career blueprint matches. Start with Afro-inspired tracks, cross into pop once the fan base is locked, then dominate high fashion. The fashion trajectory is deja vu too. Rihanna went from playful, sexy performances to Met Gala stunners, rocking Cavalli vintage and daring looks. Tyla, same path. She's already hitting the carpets in Balmain and Cavalli, and now she's on the 2025 Met Gala host committee. That's label branding 101. But here's where it gets controversial. Some critics say Epic purposely picked Tyla because of her racial ambiguity in the US market. Non-American, light-skinned, or mixed-race artists often get marketed as more palatable. Commentators pointed out that before Tyla, African breakout stars like Thames and Era Star were darker-skinned. Tyla's lighter complexion, polished Americanized accent, and carefully styled image made her easier to sell globally. And let's not ignore how fast her personality flipped. Fans noticed she shifted almost overnight. From a playful teen doing cute TikTok dances to a sultry, high-fashion superstar. Critics argue she doesn't even have a consistent identity, more like a label-crafted persona designed to fit whatever sells next. Tyla keeps morphing into whatever lane her label needs, and that's the problem. If your brand is built on Rihanna comparisons, that shadow never goes away. Now imagine Rihanna watching all this unfold. She knows the game better than anyone, and now a younger artist is being rolled out with her exact formula. That's why the jealousy rumors hit harder. It's not just Tyla copying Rihanna's looks, it's Epic Records cloning Rihanna's career step by step. And if you're Rihanna, the last thing you want is someone being positioned as your replacement. That's where the shade comes in. Rihanna feels her identity's being duplicated, while Tyla feels trapped in her shadow. Suddenly, the tension looks structured, not personal. Social media only poured gas on it. The drama started with cryptic posts, captions, and subtle comments fans swore were aimed at each other. In today's industry, shade spreads faster than music itself. Tyla doesn't call people out by name, but her posts always spark chatter. In Cosmopolitan, she said, "People want to tie me to something familiar, cool. But at the end of the day, we're doing something no one's done before." Sounds polite, but read between the lines. That was a slick dig. Translation, I'm not copying, I'm innovating. Meanwhile, Rihanna stayed in character, never naming names, but always stirring the pot. Her Instagram post, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," wasn't just a random faith quote. To the Navy, it was their queen declaring she's untouchable. To Tyla's fans, it was Rihanna low-key admitting Tyla's a threat. Either way, it lit the internet on fire. And then Cardi B jumped in, furious at how Tyla was being dragged online, especially with the Rihanna comparisons. Cardi said, Cardi B snapped back at the hate, saying, "Every time I scroll my TikTok, there's a video of her and people talking trash. Like, dang, what do you want her to do? Cut her veins?" It was raw, shocking, and it put the spotlight on just how toxic these fan wars have gotten. Cardi wasn't just defending Tyla, she was calling out an industry that set her up to fail by shoving her straight into Rihanna's shadow. And of course, fans turned it into a full-on war. Some accused Tyla of being obsessed with Rihanna's style. Others swore Rihanna was the jealous one, pointing out she hasn't dropped new music in years while Tyla's running up the charts and stealing red carpets. One viral comment read, "Tyla's success ain't organic. They manufactured her whole brand as Rihanna Light." Of course, Rihanna's annoyed. Nobody wants to be replaced while they're still alive. Another clapped back. People claim Tyla copies Rihanna, but instead of being bitter, she praises her as an inspiration. That's how you know she's genuine. Both sides kept throwing gas on the fire, and what started as simple comparisons turned into a storyline of sabotage and jealousy. But this isn't just petty shade. It's about Tyla's future. In this industry, shade can block real opportunities. And that's money. If Rihanna isn't vibing with Tyla, will fashion houses hesitate to book her? Will big collabs get iced out? That's why fans believe Rihanna's jealousy isn't just emotional, it could be strategic, and Tyla knows it. That's why she keeps stressing her individuality. Because if she doesn't break free from Rihanna's shadow soon, she risks being remembered as nothing more than a copycat. This is where things get dangerous. When industry politics mix with personal egos, shade turns into sabotage. And some insiders swear Rihanna might be doing exactly that behind the scenes. But at this point, it's bigger than just Tyla versus Rihanna. What we're seeing is an icon clashing with a manufactured successor, and an industry that profits off every ounce of drama. The music game lives off rivalries, from Nicki versus Cardi to Beyonce versus Ciara. Fan wars keep people locked in. Tyla versus Rihanna is the latest version, but this time the stakes are global. Tyla represents a new wave of African artists breaking into the US mainstream, while Rihanna stands as the gatekeeper who could make or break that path. And here's the risk. Rihanna doesn't even need to call Tyla out directly. Her influence across music, fashion, and business is enough to quietly block collabs, freeze out sponsorships, and stall momentum. If doors suddenly start closing, no one blames Rihanna. They just say Tyla fell off. Still, not all of this is on Rihanna. Critics argue Tyla's team set her up by copying the Rihanna formula too closely. They leaned into the comparison so hard that the new Rihanna tag became a weight she can't shake. That's enough to make anybody look twice. Tyla versus Rihanna isn't just a fan war, it's proof of how the industry recycles stars. When one legend slows down, the machine builds the next. But here's the danger. If you remind people too much of the OG, you'll never escape their shadow. For Tyla, her whole future depends on finding her own identity. If she keeps letting people brand her the new Rihanna, she'll always play second. But if she flips the script, maybe with a fresh sound, maybe with raw storytelling, she could carve out a lane Rihanna can't touch. And that's why this drama matters. Tyla's either on the brink of becoming the next global superstar or the next casualty of industry sabotage. This isn't just ego, it's survival. Tyla's fighting to prove she's no clone, while Rihanna keeps reminding the world she's still the only girl in the world. Until one of them addresses the tension head-on, fans are gonna keep fueling this fire. So what do you think? Is Tyla breaking free or stuck in Rihanna's shadow? Drop your comments below, smash that like button, share this with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe. Because the next chapter in this story is about to be even crazier. See you in the next one.